Welcome back to another show. Welcome to everybody here. So, as you can see, the lighting is obviously a little bit different. One of the main reasons is because, well, we're now daylight saving time. So now what ended up happening was, like, I'm still fidgeting with the lights, because what ended up happening was, oh jeez, I think I spilled my water. Okay, cool. Yeah, so what ended up happening, because it's daylight saving time, my lighting's all messed up. I wouldn't say it's messed up, but, like, I had to fix it around. So if you're new here, this is Warrior Insights. This is mostly a geopolitical channel. I talk about geopolitics. However, things have been kind of dead. However, you know, for me, as a content creator, I'm like, I need to spice up my content. I need to talk a lot of a few things. And so sometimes I do TikTok reacts. But sometimes over here, you know, in the chat, if you want to, if you are comfortable, you can pitch an idea. We can talk about it. Over here, I like having conversations with people. It's boring when, honestly, your community is filled with people that just agree with each other. Because, like, it just gets you nowhere. Like, I want to have fun. I want to debate. I want to discuss a few things. And as always, before I continue on with the rest of the show, just keep in mind, everything you see here is a reflection of my own opinion, nobody else's. This is my own opinion and personal views along with my own analysis. Over here, I'm not going to talk bad about a candidate. I'm not going to talk bad about anybody else. Everything that is said here is a reflection of my own views and not a reflection on anyone else's, not in the Department of Defense or anyone like that. And as always, let's just jump into it. You know, I gotta say, I'm really happy. I'm starting to get the streaming thing down a little bit. I am. And there's me, like, Twitchception. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am happy to announce we have 36 followers. 36 followers. That is crazy, but I'm going to tell you this right now. I know you need to fix that anti-affiliate bar. Actually, you know what? Here, let's just do this right now. It might as well. It might as well. Let's get rid of it. Yes, remove it. Because here's the thing, I am only 14 followers away from hitting affiliate on this side. I have to hit a few other requirements as well. But you know what? We're getting there. We are getting there. We're going to take it one step at a time. First thing that I need to hit is my followers, which we are getting very, very close. I'm super excited. And if you are a Twitch streamer, go ahead and give me a follow, and I will follow you right back. Either hit me with a follow or comment with your Twitch stream, and I'd love to follow you back. I'd love to interact with other people on the channel. I think it's pretty cool. I think what's also kind of cool over here is like the community and the other people that I follow. They're doing their own thing, which is super, super cool. And I like doing my own thing, you know? Over here, these are my past few streams. You can feel free to watch it. For now, it's free. If I continue to build traction, who knows? Maybe. But these have been my recent broadcasts so far. Things have been kind of like on the meh side. I will say things have been sort of dead. I will say there have been some, every once in a while I'll do a stream. Like 8 days ago was probably one of my best streams. And I was surprised. But yeah, this is my streaming. Please, please, please. I know the schedule's kind of whack. I'm going to have to fix this. But please do not follow that stream because it's not exactly as accurate. And give me 1 second. Yeah. So please do not follow that stream because it is super and highly inaccurate. So just gonna go over here. We are gonna go over to our that's right. We are going over to our TikTok account. This is where I first started. 4,320 followers, 11,000 likes, and it's all gonna get banned. The TikTok ban is going through. We are gonna talk about that first thing out of the bat. Like, it's gonna go through. I am anticipating it. Because when the first votes came, it was 50-0. Like, Democrats and Republicans, they're like, nope, nope, we want this app gone. We want this app banned. And it's overwhelmingly Democrat and Republican in the next vote. All that the Senate has to do is vote on it, and Joe Biden signs it, and it's done. Now, granted, it's not going to be immediate. If you read it correctly, it had like so ByteDance has 5 to 6 months to divest from TikTok from when it was signed. But if you do the math, if it's not this month, what'll end up happening if President Trump goes back and wins if he won the re-election, he can put it back in. We'll see. We'll find out. But yeah, this is my take. Oh, God, I don't know why this is growing. This has been my Aaron Bushnell is not a martyr. I don't understand why that's growing. I mean, I do understand why it's growing. It's kind of sad. But it's like, oh my God, people are getting so pissy about it. It's still growing to this day. Like, if you look at the past streams, that video's just been growing and growing and growing. And I didn't post anything today because honestly, it's just like, you know, my mental health is more important. I am gonna, like, I do post frequently, but you know, there's some days where I'm like, you know what, I just don't feel like posting. I feel like streaming, not posting. Like, I am more of a streamer. Like, this is sort of my reality. This is where I'm kind of like good at. Granted, TikToks are kind of like what I've been doing, but that's why I started the content creating journey. But I just don't like it, in the sense of it's like there's just so many, it's just craziness being on that app. Like, I have lost brain cells being on this app because it's like, it's okay. Let me go back. Back in my master's program, I actually had honest discussions, honest debates. It was really interesting and really exciting. On TikTok, everybody's crazy. Everybody on this app has lost their minds because it radicalizes people. I jumped in on an early, an individual's stream, one of my followers, his name's Common Ground. Yeah, so I was on there and I mentioned it, like, this app radicalizes people. I don't think anyone talks about that, but this app has been known to radicalize individuals, which I find crazy. I mean, it's like, come on now. You need to put the phone down and understand that TikTok is not reality. As a result, today's stream is going to be kind of on the short end, because normally I go to TikTok and I kind of react to it, kind of leads into some of the news, into some of my niches. But the problem is, like, it's just not a good day. TikTok, right? So give me 1 second. TikTok right now.
Every single person that I went to school with is not using the.
TikTok has been primarily about the TikTok ban. If you go on your For You page, it is covered with everyone talking crap about the TikTok ban. And here's the thing. It's going trending, it's going viral, and of course it's going trending, it's going viral. Because, well, TikTok wants people to be aware. They want to call us to call our representatives. This app. Fuck. I hate it. Ban it. Like, seriously, ban this goddamn app. I hate this app so much. It has degraded everyone's brain. Like, everyone's IQ has went down because of this app. That's on a superficial level. On a deeper level, I'd say it radicalizes individuals. And yeah, we can talk about the Chinese, like, espionage, spyware stuff that's on the app. At the end of the day, this app is not conducive to people's mental health, I'm just saying. I mean, during the congressional hearing, when I had all the CEOs of all the major social media companies, now, I gotta tell you, one of the most powerful moments was bringing up the fact that there are individuals that unfortunately self-deleted because of social media. Social media provides this little aspect of people's lives where it's like, oh my god, like, you know, they have the perfect life, they have the perfect everything, and everybody compares, like, even I compare. But you know what, you gotta come back to reality. Because the thing is like, everyone compares, like, oh my god, they have the perfect boyfriend, the perfect girlfriend, the perfect husband, the perfect wife, the perfect family, the perfect school, the perfect job, the perfect life, and that, I'm gonna tell you, that's just snippets. In reality, nobody's like that. Everybody's struggling, no matter what income class you are. Like, everybody's struggling to make a living. Everybody's struggling to be happy. And that's just facts. And also, I don't know. For me, I stand with the TikTok ban app. Even though I'm gonna get screwed, I stand with the app. I stand with the ban. I don't like it. Like, it's not a good app. Period. But you know what? Let's just talk about a few things on this app. And so this is a few things that I did want to talk about. You know, I do like reacting to some content every once in a while, and this is one of them.
The degrees that they paid for.
What did you go to college for?
Journalism.
Isn't that what you're doing right now?
What do you mean?
Like journalism stuff?
You probably don't know my backstory. There are individuals that are going to school.
Destiny reacted to like, so he did like a debrief right after. It's interesting. He was poking holes in the story. That's all I'm gonna say.
That are spending $100,000 for a degree in gender studies.
Yeah, but in general, that's not the cost of a college degree.
Okay, here's the thing. People crap on, like, oh, you're taking a gender studies degree, you're taking like a Pan-African studies degree, you're taking like an Asian American studies degree. This is so useless. No, it's not. It's not. You want to know why? They go to DEI. They become like diversity, equity, and inclusion individuals that companies hire. They make like so much money. It's ridiculous. There's so much money to be made from that. People become activists. There's money made from that. They become DEI individuals. There's some money off of that. There is money in, like, here's the thing. There is money off of your degree. You just gotta leverage it correctly. Look, if you went to college and you just like just did your classes and then just got out, okay, you screwed up big time. That's not what you're supposed to do. Money, yes, exactly, political gamer. And welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Yes. Like, here's the thing when it comes to college. Okay, like over there, you said that's my undergraduate degree. I don't need it. It wasn't the degree itself, but the skills that I got from it and the value I obtained from it. I mean, you know, should you go to college? Should you not go to college? Here's the one thing that I've learned and realized is that there are people. If you're new to this channel, I am on the right. I do say I am conservative. There are some conservative influencers that are pushing the go to trade school that would never send their kids to trade school. That's what Destiny says. And here's the thing. It's like, yeah, maybe you can make your success. Like, here's the thing. At the end of the day, if you got a life path and you know what to do, go for it. If you don't know what to do, go to college. But do not do the stupid thing of like, I'm gonna go pick the fanciest school with the most expensive thing and then just go broke. Go to community college. Go to a state college. Just knock it out. Knock out a few classes. Like, there are other alternatives than just going to a 4-year. I mean, you can go to community college, state college. At least get a degree in something. I mean, just recently I had to work retail. Because of my degree, I was able to get a higher paying job. There was another individual that worked in the same company I was with. Understand, I'm not throwing any shade to anybody. I'm just keeping everything vague. This individual was working for the company for years. And in I came with a college degree, and I made more than that individual. That's a scary thought. And it's like, you know, it might not be the path, but it will open doors and alternatives. That's what I know.
Degree. And in general, college degrees confer huge wage premiums onto the people that earn them. These are like,
no, they don't, and that is the reason why you have so many young women that are. And this is why, you know, I think that what you actually do here is harmful.
Oh, see, here's the thing. God willing, if I made it, I would never debate with Candace Owens, because here's the thing with Candace Owens, she'll get under your skin. She'll get under your skin and you will lose it. She did it with Blair White, and Blair White obviously from. So if you remember back then with Candace Owens, Dave Rubin, and Blair White, Candace Owens kicks off the debate by calling Blair White a guy, and the whole thing derailed off of that for one reason and one reason alone. Yeah, I mean, well, Political Gamer, what's your opinion on Candace Owens? Because I don't have a favorable opinion of her. I don't think so many people herald her as an intellectual. I don't. She's a good journalist. She's good at this. But to say that she's an intellectual, I disagree.
You're acting like you're a college dorm kid.
Yeah, and your cat insults towards people online make you seem like a high school mean girl. I mean, like, what do you mean? Like, we all have our things.
But
like,
you can be the person that goes to trade school and you will make so much money doing jobs that actually bring value to society.
Computer programmers don't bring value to the society. Mechanical engineers.
You know, here's the one thing that it wasn't in this one, but it was like iced coffee hour, where they argued, oh, I'm gonna go to like programming boot camp. There was a point in my life where I was like, oh, I want to do like hacking. I wanted to get into like blue team, red team, like cybersecurity stuff. I took courses and I learned. I had a mentor of mine. He makes $500K. He makes $500K a year, and he is chilling. And you know what he told me? When it comes to these boot camps, they will not hire anyone off the bat because of the boot camp. You gotta have that experience, even with your college degree. Like your boot camp, trade school, college, they'll all have this. Regardless of where you end up, all three are gonna say the exact same thing when you leave. What was your experience? Your degree, the trade school itself does not. Well, depending on what it is, it won't count for itself.
Don't bring value to society.
Unbelievable the way people used to be able to speak and write before we created the Department of Education. Which, in my view, is there just to exist to turn you into a mindless bot that will serve the government. And
I don't agree with that. Now, I will say the education system's messed up beyond all belief. Like, the education system is destroyed. I debate a lot of this with social conservatives. It's not the issue of the state. I would argue it's the issue of the parents. Because, look, I'm a Gen Z. I'm early, very, very, 1996, early Gen Z. Now it's like 1995, 1997. I identify as early Gen Z. Let's keep it like that. And I gotta tell you, man, we messed up. The millennials messed up this generation, and the next generation coming after it. Ooh, I am so scared. Because I gotta tell you, I look at, when I was in retail and when I was a school teacher, I'm looking at some of these kids. Man, they are just messed. They are out of control and crazy beyond all belief, and I could not believe in myself. And when it comes to education, so when I was a school teacher, the kids would come, they would tear this classroom up, they would be near impossible to control. And the teachers were to blame for it. And the parents would back up the kids. They're honestly, I love teaching. I love talking. And you know, one of the reasons why I pursued my master's degree was to teach at community college. Now, my professors at my master's program unfortunately warned me of this real situation where they just hire adjunct professors instead of hiring a professor full time because they save you on tenure. But you know, when it comes to like education of like elementary, high school, like junior, like those two, it's tough. I gotta tell you, it's tough. Is it the fault of the government? I would argue it's the fault of the parents. That's what I would argue. But that's a nice little warm up to get into today's stream.
All right, TikTok, I have a question. We all know you have an anti-Semitic problem, but this is...
Okay, so, I mean, I'm not gonna finish this, but here's the thing with TikTok. It has a very, very big anti-Semitic problem, and I can't even play some of these TikToks on here. Yesterday on the stream, there was this girl. She was like, she was stitching. So if you don't know what stitching is, like, there's a video, you respond to it right after. And so what this girl was saying was, the original video was about, she was, I think she was Israeli. No, I think she was Jewish. I forgot. Like, I think she was Israeli. We'll see. But she was talking and she was saying, oh, Bisan like stole $400,000 USD, and like why aren't the pro-Palestinians talking about this? Then it cuts, right? Then the stitch begins of that content creator. So as that content creator was speaking, you know what this content creator says? Your people are destroying it. Okay, so here's why the red flags are coming up. Why could you not just say Israeli? Why did you have to say your people? You know, Ethan Klein, I think a few streams ago, he said it himself. They're not calling me a Zionist, they're calling me a Jew. And this is the safe way out of it. That's why Meta wants to ban the word Zionist, because it's a anti-Semitic dog whistle. Now, granted, I know people have their opinions, but for me, from what I've seen on TikTok alone, The amount of anti-Semitism is crazy. And here's the thing. I am glad I'm not a Jewish content creator. I got friends that are Jewish content creators, and the K word is being thrown around like candy. I gotta tell you, like, if you jump on stream and you defended Israel, you get called a Zionist. If you're a Jewish content creator and you defend Israel, or you'll get called all names in the book. I'm just gonna say it. But the censors will avoid it they'll do it in such a way where it avoids the censors, where they kind of mute themselves, or they kind of like space it out. So this one content creator I know and I follow him, he was called the K word, but you could not write the K word in the comment, otherwise you could flag it. So he writes K dot 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 I dot 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 K dot 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 dot, and you can finish the rest. You know what it is. I'm not gonna say it. But the thing is that's what's been going on TikTok recently, and it's been out of control. And you know, also on Instagram, it's like, I find it a lot on social media. So when this whole thing kicked off, I fully was in the camp of you cannot be the state of Israel and not be an anti-Semite. The two are starting to get conflated together. From what I have seen critics of Israel that have not been anti-Semitic, but those are far and few in between. Because let's be real, when it comes to social media, the more outrageous you are, the crazier it is. And here's the thing. I mentioned it before, this is called soft power, the ability to control a country's culture. And TikTok is one of them. This is why they wanted to ban the app, because let me tell you, the way TikTok has had a control in regards to this generation, in regards to Gen Z, Gen Alpha, a little bit of millennials, they have really hijacked the political discourse. And you know what? I give respect to that. For doing that, but I gotta tell you, no other country has done it that successfully. Well, America, yeah, but to this extent, I have to give the credit. That's why I'm for the TikTok ban app. Which brings me to this next video. Okay, now here. Okay, this content creator, here's the thing. Every once in a while, she'll give her opinion, she'll give her 2 cents. But what I've also noticed is that, here, watch. So here's the thing. I don't understand why they'll just literally just sit there, they'll write the words, and they'll let the music play. The music is trending. It will push the video out. So all they have to do is let the audio play and just sit there. And I did it once for like one video. American politicians will protect you from TikTok while they blank you with no accessible care, abortion bans, and expect you to survive off minimum wage while the rich get richer. You know, simplistic platitudes. It's like, okay, come on now. Like, come on. Like, you can make arguments for that. I've seen good arguments for that. But the thing is, with TikTok, when you do stuff like this, it just pushes it out, and it's like, no discussion. Now, she does news analysis, yes? Let's take a look. So this is her analysis when it comes to TikTok ban.
This is why I think the government is so fast and so eager to ban TikTok, and hear me out.
Now, granted, this is her opinion. And so here's the thing, one of my videos, I specifically said this is my opinion and my opinion alone, and people came after me. You know what? I don't mind. It's social media. Do what you will. So if this is her opinion, we'll just, you know, I'm not gonna hammer her with facts. Let's just talk about it.
Me out. So October 7th happened. We all know what happened.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. We're off to a great start. Here's the thing. A lot of people that are on TikTok that are pro-Palestine are actually making this argument that, oh, it's because you're trying to silence the narrative about Palestine and Israel, all this stuff. I'm going to tell you this. This whole thing, this whole TikTok ban happened even before that. President Trump was the one to bring it up. He didn't do it to completion, and now all of a sudden he wants to take it back. Like, okay. This has happened way before October 7th.
And there, no need to go into that. We started hearing a bunch of propaganda from the government, right?
Your page is propaganda. I've seen it myself, and like, here's the thing. It's like, you know, you have your biases and narratives. I have my biases and narratives. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend I don't. But the problem is that here's the thing. If ever you see a content creator get up on here and say, oh, the government's pushing propaganda, oh, like, I'm telling the truth, like, stuff like that, that's where I kind of get the red flags in regards to, it's like, you know, I'm open and honest. And I don't have, you know, I don't know. It's like when you well the government's pushing propaganda, well you're pushing your own propaganda. I mean, let's watch.
We need to take out the terrorists. This is a global threat. Same stuff we've been hearing since the early 2000s with the war on terror BS that the Pentagon.
Okay. The global war on terror, as controversial as this is gonna say, the global war on terror was a success. You wanna know why? With following the attacks of 9/11, America has not seen a T attack like that since it's been 23 years since we've seen something like that. Now there might minor. I'm not gonna sit here and say there hasn't been one, but there have been there have been smaller attacks. Not to that extent of 9/11. I would honestly say we did a decent job. Now, granted, you could argue the pullout in Afghanistan was a result of a failure. I can see that argument. However, you're kind of dismissing the fact of the gains that were made between 9/11 and Afghanistan and our involvement in the Middle East, which we are still involved of.
Fabricated and pushed out to justify unneeded war. And then
Should I talk? Should I? Okay, you know what? Come 9/11, Afghanistan happened. The United States was involved in Afghanistan. We were able to overthrow the Taliban regime. Now, obviously, they came back. Al-Qaeda, we have other insurgent groups that were in the area that have been taken care of. Now, granted, the Taliban has come back in power. Al-Qaeda was knocked out completely. They haven't had made a resurgence since then. Now, I mean, to say that you can eliminate an insurgent group completely is, well, that's crazy. You cannot completely and effectively wipe out an insurgent group without, like, committing some really bad crimes. War crimes that I cannot say because I'm afraid that this channel might get pulled. But, I mean, I'd argue at least we, achieved somewhat of a mission success.
we had journalists on the ground in Gaza start putting out all these videos.
And some of them were fake. I'm not saying all of it was fake, but you had so much misinformation, and TikTok is responsible for this. Misinformation was getting pushed out left, right, and center. Some of my TikToks that I did stitch responded to that, so let's go for one. The U.S. dropped expired food into Gaza. Well, guess what? That tweet was... We need to go back to that tweet, because honestly, that tweet was gold. Here, let me show you something. U.S. aid expired 38,000 meals. Look at all this. Actually, I know what it is. Oh, don't you dare tell me you deleted this. Was it this one? Come on, stay up there. That's bright. No, you actually deleted it? God dang it. Hold up. Expired. Don't tell me. Ugh. Okay, you know what? Let's go back over here. Let me show you this. Here it is.
Own, because every single one of those meals is
saying that the residents in northern Gaza, saying that some of the food that was dropped was expired. So from this account was reporting it, saying that the residents in northern Gaza, saying that some of the food that was dropped. So this was shown. However,
oh my God, Twitter called that out immediately. Like, like when that tweet was made, it got called out immediately, but people kept pushing it.
the picture shows an expiration minister. AP News also reported the comment section under that Twitter thread or X thread, and when confronted,
Come on.
confronted, all she said was that
DM Odas Cutter. Okay, let's see if it's still up here. DM Odas Cutter. Here you go. Okay, now here's the thing. I'm gonna bring it back over here because what I don't want a situation where I unfortunately violate Twitch's terms of service and get in trouble. I swear to God, if this lady pulled it, I'm gonna be so upset. Yeah, you see, I'm grateful I can't freaking show. Like, there are videos and photos on here that she has on her Twitter that I can't post. Because if I did, you know, it's gonna be all over the place. But assuming that it's still up there, let's just go back over here. But you know, assuming it's still up there, it's like, you know, it's problematic.
And all this evidence of what was actually happening, which was directly refuting what the government was saying. So they said, okay.
You know, I really wish you would at least made a claim to, like, or an example at least, so we could actually look it over.
We're gonna kill all of the journalists, and that's what they did. They killed most of the journalists. Over 110 journalists killed in the span of 5 months.
Okay, let's look that up. Journalists in... Reporting... ICIJ, okay, this should be interesting. Nearly 100. More than 3/4 of 99 journalists and media killed died in the war, according to a report from the CPJ. Okay, let's go here. Committee to Protect Journalists. More than 3/4 have been killed. He's claimed the lives of more than journalists in 3 months. The investigation surrounding these wars also related to 3 Lebanese and 2 Israeli journalists. Not only because of the large numbers of deaths, but also because of the loss of those who could have provided more information. Many of the journalists' victims were killed along with them in Gaza. Their colleagues in the military died. The military authorities adamantly denied targeting journalists or provide only scanned information when they acknowledge press killings. Critical information about their lives and work has been lost forever. And so it has a methodology of how to report it. Let's take a look. Defines journalists as people who cover news or comment on public affairs through any medium, including print, online, via broadcast, photos, and video. We take up cases involving staff and journalists. Free writers, read our FAQ here. So here's my thing, and this is what I'm questioning. If your definition of journalists is people who cover news on a public affairs through any medium, wouldn't that cover anyone that had a social media platform? Is my question. Now, I'm not gonna say, like, that's not an own. I mean, I'm curious if I could ever get in contact with anyone who is a CPJ, but, like, would that include anybody that did that? Because if this is the methodology you're going for, then that number might be inflated. Possibly inflated. But from here, according to the reports, if it's correct, hey, it is correct.
Which is one of the most brutal events for journalists in our lifetime and in recorded history, period.
Really? See, here's the thing. This is the reason why my TikToks take so long, is because I have to look up everything before I say it. Most brutal event for journalists in history. Most dangerous one in the history of journalism. Modern history. So prior to this, Maghreb in the Middle East, I have a deadliest war for journalists in history. According to you, so it is the war in Gaza. Okay, but it's going off the CPJ. That's the thing. The way they defined it puts a lot of individuals in that criteria. Let's look at this one. Online Club. The incident report grim. More than 200 journalists have been killed. Oh, so it was Iraq. Grim landmarks. More than 200 journalists have been killed in Iraq since the beginning of the war in March 23, compared to previous wars. That's still bad, don't get me wrong. I'm not here to downplay it, but it's like, okay, you know what? If Iraq has double your numbers, it's not... whatever.
Period. Regular people started grabbing their phones and they started filming it too. So then they started realizing, oh my god, this is starting to become a problem. And then TikTok came to play. TikTok is where people like myself and other content creators have been using to push the message that, hey, this is propaganda, and dismantling the propaganda.
Okay. TikTok misinformation. Look at this. Social media has been flooded with misinformation about the Israel-Hamas war, including visuals from older conflicts, video games. Yeah, that's the thing. Where was it? The whole JDAM thing? You know, I might as well screw it. Yeah, when Israel was accused of the hospital bombing, everyone was lost it. Yeah, like this got pushed out, like in regards to the okay, I can't play the rest because obviously I violated certain service. But like that's the thing, it's like TikTok helped push that misinformation out, and it wasn't until later that it was recanted. But by then the damage was already done. More than 40,000 fake profiles have participated in the conversation on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram, and X. These content created by these fake profiles have received more than 370,000 engagements and potentially reached 531 profiles in just 2 days. Yeah, there's... Like, look at this. Taken from Al Jazeera, CNN, Reuters. And bro, this is Al Jazeera. Social media platforms swamped with fake news in Israel-Hamas war. Like, that's the thing. There's so much fake news that gets pushed out there, and like...
Back in 2000, we could only watch CNN, NBC News for our news. But now that we have social media apps and a younger generation that's ready to fight back...
It's a bad combination because so much misinformation gets pushed out. By the time individuals see that, they just react to it automatically. And I'm one of them. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to sit here on my high horse. I'm one of them. And the thing is with this, by the time misinformation gets pushed out, the action is done. The damage is already done. Like, let me... Because this was proven to be fake. And it wasn't Hamas, it was the PIJ. It was a PIJ missile. Oh, look at this. Here's another one.
Let me show you how we do stuff around here. Actually, my department uses Monday.com, so I'm good.
A work management tool? No, that's not for me.
Well,
Let's go truthing or faking. Kathleen is over by the big board. Good evening to you. A viral video of a nurse denouncing a Hamas occupation in the Al-Shifa.
No, it's fake. Ooh, whoops. Well, see, there you go. There's an example on the one side doing it. That was staged. Here we go.
Now to the Israel war with Hamas. Now, we in the media have done a terrible job this week in covering this conflict, and it has exposed the way that real disinformation can spread. And this is actually a perfect example of why you should not misuse the words mis or disinformation.
Now, we're not going to watch the whole 9 minutes, but that was an example of one of them.
They're in trouble. Joe Biden is trying to run again. He's trying to win his campaign, but he knows that a lot of the younger generation is sick and tired of his geriatric ass. So,
Like, okay, you know what? 6 more minutes, 6 more seconds.
what is he doing? He's trying to ban TikTok, and that is how I think we got here today. Thank you for listening.
Okay, alright. So, the Senate report... Like, here's the thing, when it comes to TikTok, it is a national security concern, because when it came to the Israel-Palestine thing, one of the biggest issues that the misinformation got spread around, but you also had people openly advocate for violence. I'm not talking about, like, let me lower the brightness because it's too bright. You had people openly advocate for violence in regards to, like, the national, like, the U.S. government. Like, okay, like, I saw TikTok. What this guy was saying was this. Oh, we've tried everything. I'm not saying we should try violence, but we should try it. Like, in a clever, sly way to avoid the censors. And here's my thing. As a former activist, you have to leave social media to get on ground in boots with individuals. Because, according to all the recent polls, there is still a high, even though it went down, still high support of Israel within the United States. If you go on TikTok, that might not be the case. But you also have that instance. We also have another instance of, like, Aaron Bushnell, where they were literally, like, Here's the thing. So he uploaded that video on Twitch. So Twitch sees the video, they pull it down immediately because obviously if you self-harm, if you delete yourself on the stream, it's gonna take it out because for obvious reasons you violated Twitch terms of service. Now you can't do anything after the fact that you get deleted, but you know. TikTok, on the other hand, not only pushed the audio, they pushed the photo, they pushed the video, they pushed all of that out. And guess what? It was still there. I find that crazy. That all that got pushed out, it violated terms of service, and it was still up there. Clearly, there's an issue with that. I don't know. Like, she is not the only one. There are so many content creators giving really bad takes because they just want to make a point of to keep TikTok. But here's the thing. If an overwhelming consensus of Republicans and Democrats continue to vote, even Joe Biden himself said he's going to sign it, it's going to go through. Now, it's not an immediate, boom, TikTok is done. But it gives the company the ability to divest from ByteDance and into an American company, which is the hopes and goal. Will it happen? It may or may not happen. We're going to see and we're going to find out. On to what I can really talk about. The Russia-Ukraine war. Putin is ready for nuclear war as he pledges to send troops to the NATO border. Now, Finland and Sweden have just joined NATO. Well, Finland joined, then Sweden joined. Now with those two, now the Baltic Sea is completely locked in from NATO. So Russia's kind of like, well, helpless at that point. But also with Finland here. I got a map. I got Google. What am I doing? Finland border with Russia map. Chat, come look at this. See, back then, Russia only had these borders to worry about. But with Finland joined, now it has this gigantic border with Finland that now it needs to contest. Now it needs to send troops there. It needs to send logistics there. It needs to send every and anything bases to support those troops there. Roads, it's now a more logistical nightmare. Because now Putin has to worry about Ukraine. Putin has to worry about the attack, internal attacks from ISIS. Other insurgent groups within Russia are now fighting in Russia right now at this moment. I think it was yesterday. You had legionnaires fight within Russia. And now you got Finland to worry about. And also the sanctions. Everything's all piling up all together to get this one big ball of cluster mess going on. I don't see how Russia's going to win this. I just don't. When you take a step back and look at the bigger picture, the hope for Russia was to bleed the West dry. But with all these internal and external events going on within Russia, regardless, let's say that US pulls the plug or NATO pulls the plug, regardless if Ukraine loses the funding, now they have more things to worry about. Because even if the funding for Ukraine is pulled, all the four things that I just mentioned, they're still going to happen. Let's go back. Vladimir Putin says Moscow is prepared for nuclear conflict but is not rushing towards it. Vladimir Putin has warned he is ready to use nuclear weapons if Western forces send troops to Ukraine. So Emmanuel Macron is actually willing to send troops to Ukraine. There are troops in Ukraine, but it's people that are volunteering, that were veterans, that are under the foreign, it's not foreign legion. What do they call it? I got Google for a reason. Foreign volunteers. The International Legion. There we go. It was the 11th time that Putin issued a nuclear warning since he ordered the full scale in Russia, 3 of which have been in the past month. We don't have troops at the Finnish border, now they will be there. There are no systems of destruction there, now that they will appear. Now here's the thing, this is more of a logistical nightmare that Russia has to contend with. Now it's more, everything is getting pulled. Now they're just adding stuff, adding. Sanctions, Ukraine, internal divisions, strife, Alexei Navalny dead, that causing issues. Now we have this, they're just gonna keep adding and adding and adding until the point where something happens. Last month, President Putin signed a decree recreating the Leningrad military district. The sole purpose would be to maintain a military presence on the northwestern border of NATO. Yeah, that's the thing, it's just more logistics for them to worry about. Now, speaking of the TikTok ban, let's go over to our friends in China. China says the TikTok ban would come back to bite the U.S. I wonder what they got. China has warned that a proposed ban on TikTok will come back to bite the U.S. as lawmakers approve that the bill could lead to the app being banned. Okay, here's the thing. They accidentally just... It's like, you can kind of work back way and analyze this. Why are they this upset? Like, if ByteDance does not have any... Well, if the CCP does not have any control of ByteDance, then why are they going this far? I don't know. That's my assumption, at least. The bill of the House of Representatives will force the Chinese-owned app to sever ties with China or become available in the U.S. And see, that's the thing that I said. It does not necessarily mean the app's going to be gone. ByteDance is now in the TikTok CEO now has to divest from ByteDance into a U.S. company. More than likely, it might go to Meta. TikTok owners have rejected a threat. Bipartisan support. Headed to the Senate, unknown if it was passed. If it does, the White House... So it's going to go to the final one. It goes to the Senate. If it does, the White House has said that President Joe Biden will sign it into law. Ahead of the vote, the Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Wenbin accused the U.S. of suppressing TikTok, despite the fact that it never found evidence that TikTok threatens national security. This kind of bullying behavior cannot win in fair competition and disrupts normal company business. Oh, shut up. The move was similar to... So here's the thing. In China, nobody talking about this. In China, a lot of the Apple products were scrapped from Chinese officials because they were afraid of the same thing. You know? Because they were concerned of American espionage. We can't do the same. TikTok is banned in China, but yeah, they have Douyin. Douyin is like... Douyin, there's a timer on it. You're not exposed to brain rot. Like, they're, by timer, I mean they will specifically... It has a specific timer. Like, the way it works is like you cannot... You can endlessly scroll on TikTok for hours and hours on end. And it's not going to ding you. But when you jump into Douyin, I think it's like a 15-minute and then it stops. ByteDance would be required to sell TikTok within 6 months or face a ban. And so proponents are arguing that it's a free speech sort of thing. I can kind of see that, honestly. TikTok has denied any links with the Chinese government and said it has restructured the company to keep U.S. data within the U.S. I doubt it. I seriously doubt it. But it's like, this is a... So here's the thing. China engages in something called the Wolf Warrior diplomacy. Let's go over here. It's a form of public diplomacy involving compellence adopted by Chinese diplomats in the late 2010, coming from the movie Wolf Warrior 2. This approach is in contrast to prior diplomats of Deng Xiaoping and Hu Jintao, which emphasize cooperative rhetoric and the avoidance of controversy. Look, they don't care anymore, and this is the thing when it comes to it. It's like you cannot bully your way into the world stage because you're gonna piss everybody off. Confrontational and combative, with the proponents denouncing any perceived criticism of the CCP. It's part of a new foreign strategy called the Major Country Diplomacy, 大国外交. It has legitimized a more active role for China in the world stage, including an open ideological struggle with the Western world. Look, ever since 2020, China's favorable with everybody in the U.S. has gone down. Here's the thing with its Wolf Warrior diplomacy, and I think I'm going to mention it here later on. In regards to the Philippines, well, granted, now thanks to what they're doing with the Philippines in regards to being very aggressive with them, now they're going over to the U.S. And other countries are going to the U.S. as well. You know, I mentioned in a few streams ago, Armenia was an ally of Russia, but because Azerbaijan took over the Republic of Artsakh, when they took over that, and Russia didn't do anything, they're like, oh, well, go with the West. They're helping us. They're helping everybody else out. No. Yeah, Wolf Warrior is proponent to practices. Yeah, here's the thing. There are diplomatic incidences. They're just pissing everybody off. Oh, what's this? Chinese foreign Zhao Lianjin used his account to create a Wu Hui Xin, a self-styled Chinese Wolf Warrior artist depicting having a child having a child have their throat cut open by an Australian soldier in response to the release of the Brereton report. Yeesh. Chinese embassy in France. Altercation. Jesus H. Christ. Chinese diplomats engaged in Wolf Warrior diplomacy in 2020, with the issue being taken away that Chinese athletes were depicted in the media by the Taiwanese term, including Taiwan instead of Chinese Taipei. Chinese consulate in New York City complained that the NBC had used an inaccurate map of China of the coverage because it did not include China and the Taiwanese South China Sea. China has really screwed itself, honestly. There's no way out of it. And yeah, over here, look at this. The Philippines Marcos to meet with President Blinken as South China Sea tensions rise. That's the thing. Everybody's running over to the United States for help. The Philippines President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. will meet with U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken on March 19th to tackle cooperation and security matters. Their meeting comes on the heels of heightened tension between the Philippines and China over territorial disputes at the South China Sea. Marcos also vowed to defend the Philippines' maritime claims after Chinese President Xi Jinping calls on the armed forces to coordinate preparation for military conflicts in the sea. So, here's the thing. China does have a bigger navy than the United States, but in regards to manpower and stoppage, the United States is unbeatable. It'd be interesting to see what they can do, but I think it was revealed a few months, earlier in the year, some of their missiles were actually equipped with water, not fuel. So if the call came down for an invasion to commence, well, they'd be out of luck. They'd be out of luck. You know? 2016 ruling. I don't know. Give me 1 second. Now that it's actually gotten darker, I need to actually change up the lighting. So just give me 1 second. I'll be right back. And we are back now with more and improved, better lighting. Okay, I went earlier on TikTok and I said, TikTok is an example of real life. Look at this. Miami Beach votes to enact limits on the protests following recent pro-Palestinian events. I keep telling people, blocking the road, acting obnoxiously, screaming at people, starting your events at a Holocaust museum. I'm just laughing at this oh my god. If you are an activist on the ground and you're letting them run loose, I'm just gonna sit here and laugh. You have to worry about the optics. When you are an organizer, you're like, you can't tell us how to organize, you can't tell us. Okay, I'm not gonna tell you how to do it, but I am gonna say, if you look dumb, I call it a spade. The Miami Beach City Commission voted unanimously on Wednesday for the city to enact limits after a series of pro-Palestinian demonstrations. The resolution included by the mayor will restrict a reasonable time, place, and manner condition for the protests. Resolution points to several pro-Palestinian protests that have taken place within the city. Supported fostering strong and peaceful international relations by supporting the nation states, including the state of Israel. The vote comes just days after police directed pro-Palestinian protesters to a free speech zone near the Miami Beach conference, saying they cannot stand directly outside the event's entrance for security reasons. So, you cannot yell fire in a crowded theater, you cannot block anything, but you do have your First Amendment right to protest. If you are blocking something, that's a problem. Now, free speech zones, that's my thing, where it's look, if you're blocking access, that's a different story, but if you're making free speech zones, it gets a little hazy. That's all I'm going to say. Seeks to balance the protection of free speech with the absolute need to maintain law, order, and public safety. Okay, you know what? I want to see some of these videos. Let's see how bad it was. Because here's the thing, if it got voted to be that bad, it's probably that bad. Oh, we just got, okay, you know what? I got a better idea. Pro-Palestine protest, Miami. Oh, here we go. 4 arrests made. Let's see what happened. I hate these ads so much. I honestly feel like the stupid ads that you get so upset that you get
Palestinian supporters gathered in front of the Torch of Friendship.
Other Palestinians and Jews blame each other for the bloodshed between Israel and Gaza.
Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
My other Freedom Torch.
Oh, the reason we're here is because of what's going on in Palestine, in Gaza, where people...
Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God. Jeez. Oh, here we go. Oh, this is the memorandum. I want to see the video. Damn. Okay, whatever. The U.S. Supreme Court has ruled that while the government can't regulate the contents of speech, it can place restrictions on the time, place, and manner. So time, place, and manner restrictions are very interesting when it comes to free speech, where it's like your rights end where, like, you could swing your fist wide and open. I've heard this argument. You could swing your fist as loud and wide as you can, but it stops when it's about to hit somebody in the face. In regards to free speech, look, I am pro First Amendment. I honestly am. I am pro First Amendment. I believe in freedom of speech. There ain't gonna be no buts about that. When it comes to situations like this, in regards to, look, if an organizer has the inability to control these events, that's a problem. It speaks more on the fact that the person organizing it has no idea what the hell they're doing. This is more of a testament as to how messy some of these protesters are. They can't control things. Oh, what's it here? Let me show you something. What was that? A menorah. Oh, you ain't even gonna show it? Come on. Why am I spelling this wrong? Probably spelling this wrong. Yeah, no, so like, what was it? I think it was like a few months ago. Like, they were trying to tear down a menorah, and some of the pro-Palestinian protesters were like, whoa, 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 what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, you're gonna make us look bad. They were great. Like, good on them. Like, here's the thing. Good on them for trying to stop the guy. But it's like, man, like, to get it to that point, okay, here's the thing. I want to see if they talk about it. Oh, this is Americana. What the heck?
Pro-Palestinian protesters staging rallies at two of Southern California's most popular shopping centers on this Black Friday, one of the busiest shopping days of the year.
Black Friday was dead this year.
Protest at the Americana brand in Glendale. The video posted on the Citizen app shows dozens of people marched. Hundreds of pro-Palestinian protesters marched through city streets and into the Grove Shopping Center. They're demanding a permanent ceasefire in Israel's war with Hamas. No major disturbances.
Did nobody mention? Here's the thing. So when this went down, it's where they started that I wanted to talk about. Because they started at a Holocaust museum. Why would you stupid. This whole thing is stupid. Look at this. Pro-Palestine protest at a Holocaust museum sparks fears. That's like, I'm losing it. How crazy do you have to be? A planned protest at the U.S. Oh, I know this is some. Well, this is somewhere else, so that doesn't make it any better. A planned protest at the U.S. Holocaust Museum amid the Israel-Hamas war has been canceled after facing backlash. Sorry, give me 1 second. But like, you know, you're starting your protest at a Holocaust museum. Just make that make sense. The museum is the where was it? The Grove Holocaust Museum. Was it here? No, this might be it. This might be it.
The all-new GoDaddy Arrow helps you get your business online in minutes with the power of AI. With the perfect name.
At times, these demonstrations escalated to more than just words. NBC4's Robert Kovacic was out there. He joins us live in studio tonight with more. Robert?
Colleen, we do want to point out that the protest in Pan Pacific Park was planned and that inside
like that's any better.
A former Israeli soldier was set to give a talk to a Los Angeles audience after never getting the opportunity days ago.
Bro, like, do you think this looks good? Do you
in the Bay Area. The lecture
of a Holocaust museum, no doubt. Think it through for 1 second. You know, as an activist, here's the thing. whatever you say or do can be scrutinized by the other side. Just think it through for 1 second. If you do all this, if you act up wild and crazy in front of a Holocaust museum, I don't know what to tell you.
Turned violent. Students sharing video with our sister station, including this of campus police.
But it's UC. On the other hand, it's also UC Berkeley. It's just craziness on craziness over there. So, not that it's any better. Kim Jong-un is attempting to circumvent discontent at home with a strong military prowess. This is a dangerous game. Let's read this analysis. What is the background strategic intention behind North Korea's unusual military provocation over the past 2 years? It hasn't been, honestly, in my opinion, it's just been normally the same in regards to, oh, we're going to defeat the West and all this other stuff. Because it's just a show of force, honestly, in my opinion. I mean, it's not the nuclear missiles that worries me about North Korea. It's their spy agency along with the Lazarus Group. They have one of the best hacking groups in the world. What North Korea will do, they'll send their agents from Pyongyang into other places in China. They'll learn how to do all this other like hacking and everything, and then they send them back to Pyongyang, and then they're put into a facility where they get to work and they hack a lot of things. Above all, North Korea seems to believe that the new so-called Cold War structure between North Korea, China, Russia, and on one side, South Korea, United States, Japan, and others being revived in the wake of the Ukrainian war. How old was this? Oh, it was yesterday. The domestic and international. First, it appears that Kim intends to strengthen international solidarity by breaking through the crisis caused by the failure to reach a deal. The North Korean people had hoped that they would be able to live better lives through lifting economic sanctions and food aid, only to face disappointment and frustration when the U.S. president walked out of the summit. Their misery deepened thanks to North Korea's draconian border closure amid the pandemic. In order to overcome this internal crisis, Kim Jong-un declared a head-on breakthrough strategy at the 9th plenary meeting in December last year. Bro, like, here's the thing. If you got COVID, in North Korea, you got a shot. It just wasn't, a Moderna or Pfizer shot. Kim appears to be trying to create favorable conditions for future negotiations with the next U.S. administration by raising the international priority of North Korean nuclear issue through a display of power. See, that's actually a good one. Although the Hanoi summit was not successful, Kim appears to have judged the current international situation as a golden opportunity against the United States. I mean, it's just the same old, same old. The Kim regime has continued his so-called torture of hope by showing starving residents a thrilling circus show instead of the bread that they want, and telling them that they can make a good living if their country completes an unrivaled nuclear force. Now, my thing is this, is like, there have been reports of defectors within Pyongyang. Pyongyang is the showcase capital of North Korea, and what we mean by that is that if you, I don't know why you would do this, but, you know, if you wanted to, North Korea does make some money off its tourism. So if you want to, you can sign in saying, hey, I want to go take a tour into North Korea. You got to go through a lot of hoops to go through that, first of all. And if you're American, don't even bother. Like, why would you even bother to go to North Korea? Just go to South Korea. Well, for obviously movability, but with North Korea, they limit you. You have minders on you with 24/7, and you can't even, like, it's, I don't know why you would do that, but let's just say for an instance, I want to go to North Korea on a trip, okay? So you go to North Korea, you can only see what they want you to see, and they go to all these other hoops and whatnot. And you're showing Pyongyang. Now, Pyongyang is the best city that they have. And according to some of the defectors from North Korea that we're recently getting, that barely make it out, people are starving in Pyongyang. If people are starving there, then the average conditions for the average North Korean are far worse. I mean, I think this is messed up, and honestly, I think the current strategy is to let them just collapse and starve them out, which is horrific, but that is a strategy. Because think of it like this. If you continue to... I understand the point of Kim Jong-un threatening nuclear, like trying to cause something for the sake of political concessions, which does make sense. I agree with this. For me, it's not a long, like, I think he said it too. It's not a long-term strategy that North Korea can keep up. Because here's the thing, they have to send aid to Russia because they're getting their food from there. But here's the thing, they have to send it over there. And they also have other domestic issues as well. But at the end of the day, if they can't feed their own civilians and they're just starving, I'm just curious to see what their food aid situation is. I'm curious to see what they're eating, because this was like 20 years ago. Pyongyang had they revealed in the documentary that every citizen in Pyongyang each month, keep in mind this is a month, Each person is entitled to a chicken and 5 eggs per person, according to the documentary. I eat 6 eggs a day. Okay, it's just like I ain't gonna live off that. Just a chicken and 5 eggs a month. But here's the thing: some of the defectors that are leaving North Korea are informing us that one of the situations that's going on is the fact that, well, everybody's starving to the point where, like, they got rid of the rationing system because everybody was dying. Now it's somewhat of a free market capitalist system, kind of, but it's still not working. And at the end, it's like, here's the thing. History shows that very often that dictatorships collapse from within, not from invasion of external forces. This is why Kim Jong-un has a very, very strong, like, CIA equivalent. Well, Kim Jong-nam, I think that's what it was. They created the most elaborate way to delete him using VX nerve agent. I found that very creative. But that's for another stream. Oh my god. I saw this. So, okay, I kid you not. Yesterday's stream wasn't that good. There was not a lot to talk about. And so by the time it was like an hour in, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to cut the stream here. No interaction. No one's watching. I'm just going to cut the stream here. Oh my effing. Oh, what the. What the Look at this. Song from Star Wars plays over a loudspeaker as a U.S. Army vessel departing on a mission to construct a temporary port for aid deliveries into Gaza. Now, I said this before in the beginning, and I'm going to say this again. Everything you see here is a reflection of my own views. Not on the Department of Defense, not on the Army, not on the National Guard, not on any other organization or agency. This is my own my own personal Twitch, my own personal content creation. It is not a reflection on anyone else. What the fuck? I mean, I have to be very, very careful because I can't say the word outright. At least I'm concerned with it. But like, what the like, what? Who thought this was a good idea? Like, you know, it was ironic because I was playing Star Wars: The Old Republic right after this. Like, listen to this. Listen. Oh wait, whoops. Oh my god. If you're a Star Wars, like, I'm a Star Wars nerd, okay? That's the Imperial March. That's the bad guys. Now, I am pro-Empire all the way, okay? Like, I am an Imperial. Like, if Star Wars universe would happen, I'd be an Imperial dead on. It's the bad guys. This is a humanitarian ship going into Gaza. Like, when President Joe Biden said in the State of the Union address that he's going to build a temporary port, this is one of the ships going into that port. You do realize how bad this looks, right? But the Imperial March for Humanitarian Relief Mission? Oh my god. These comments are just... ugh. Like, somebody got in trouble for this. I know for a dang fact somebody got in trouble just to play this. Like, you could have picked any other... Like, you could have picked another different song to leave the fort. I don't know. But why did it have to be the Imperial March? That's why. So, Haiti is collapsing. Imminently collapsing in front of our eyes. Florida government, Ron DeSantis, has announced the deployment of 250 soldiers from the Florida State Guard and everyone to the state's southern coast for the political situation in Haiti could start a new wave of illegal immigration. So this is how he announced it. The state of Florida has... Let's just open it up. God dang X. For quite some time, the state of Florida has been dedicating significant resources to combat illegal vessels coming to Florida from countries such as Haiti. Given the circumstances, I have directed a division of emergency management, Florida State Guard, and state law enforcement to deploy over 250 additional officers and soldiers over a dozen air and sea craft to the southern coast to protect our state. No state has done more to supplement the U.S. Coast Guard's interdiction efforts. We cannot have illegals come into Florida. This quotes the tweet. Man, I hate when the articles just space it out and has nothing to talk about. Like, see, I'm not surprised. At least being proactive with the situation. Because with Haiti collapsing, everyone's going to go all over the place. Okay, so I remember coming back from working out and I walked in and I saw this. I have not read... Oh, my God. Well, you know what? I did want to talk about a few things, but honestly, I guess that's it for today's stream. Now, granted, it is like I am starting to limit it to like an hour, honestly, because let's be real. Like like my sleep has been suffering. Like honestly, this is sitting on a bed of melatonin pills, like not pills, chewies, and I need my sleep. It has been going down since I've been streaming, so I'm going to like limit it as best as I can. Today we had 5 viewers on the stream, so I'm super excited, super happy. Thank you to everyone that came by. The Political Gamer, this was your first time chat. I do appreciate it. Let me see. I always give a follow. I am going to give you a whisper on Twitch, and I am so grateful for you coming by. And I'm grateful for everybody coming by, whether you know, lurking or you're commenting. I always appreciate everybody coming on here and just